Hello and welcome to this thing that I do on the internet. I have very chronic, very severe dissociation. Yay. But do I? Who am I? Am I even in my body right now? Am I filming this, or is something else inhabiting my body and making me walk and talk like a human marionette puppet? Do my hands exist? Do I exist? These are all questions that I ask myself on a daily basis, and yes, it is distressing. Let's get my diagnosis out of the way. I have experienced dissociation for about as long as I can remember. We're talking like very small child dissociation. A few years ago, I was given a diagnosis of dissociative identity disorder, but I don't feel that that fits me anymore. I talked to my therapist about it recently, and she was very adamant that at the time I really did fit the criteria for dissociative identity disorder. But for a really long time now, I haven't experienced any shifts in personality or memory loss. I am, however, very dissociated a lot, but I feel like myself. I feel like Ames. There's no other personalities or anything like that attached to my dissociation anymore. So I don't know where that leaves me now, and I don't know what explains my dissociation. Maybe my CPTSD, a little depersonalization disorder. I don't know, but I'm here, and this is what we're working with. And I feel like I have to get this out of the way before I continue with the video. Almost everyone will experience dissociation in some form or another in their lifetime, and for many people it's a fairly normal thing. But for the type of dissociation that I'm talking about in this video, for me and people like me, it is a constant, relentless, grueling experience. It's gotten a little better for me with the right medication, but I still experience it enough that it is pathological. And for a really, really long time, I just had to accept that I wasn't going to be present for like 99% of my life. And we're definitely not going to get deep into it or anything, but this obviously developed as a survival mechanism for childhood trauma. But after the trauma, it just decided to stick around like a fucking fungus. And I would rather be infected with cordyceps than have to deal with this. Last of Us fans say what? The Last of Us tattoo. It's pretty cool if you know. So while it was necessary for survival of certain events, it also makes the good moments suck isn't the right word. Flat, maybe? Everything that is good and amazing in my life is kind of dulled by my dissociation. Like, I feel like my world is very, very gray, which is maybe why I love morally gray characters so much, but that's a topic for another video. It's hard because there's so many instances that I know are important or fun, but my brain just checks out anyway. And I get that it was a survival mechanism, but how is the family barbecue a threat? I can't remember if I have described dissociation like this in a video before, so if I did, I'm sorry, you're gonna hear it again. There was an episode of SpongeBob where Plankton decides he's gonna take over SpongeBob's brain, and he like crawls in SpongeBob's brain through his holes, like his sponge holes, and he implants a device on top of SpongeBob's brain, and he like makes SpongeBob walk and talk by controlling these two levers. And like SpongeBob is aware that Plankton is in there, but there's nothing he can do, and Plankton is just controlling him. And to me, dissociation feels a lot like having my own little Plankton in my brain. Another way I like to describe it is it's kind of like watching someone play a first-person video game. You know, something in me just severs and I just leave the building, and I'm just watching someone go about doing all the things they're doing, but it's not me. It is me, but it doesn't feel like me. I feel like I am observing it. And I think this is partially why I got that dissociative identity disorder diagnosis. That was really hard to say because that otherness was always attributed to other identities, which is not the case now. I've been really fortunate to not have experienced any memory loss for a while now, but the effects still linger. Like, I still to this day cannot go into a grocery store without feeling like I've lost control of my body. Like, we are talking, I can't feel my hands or my feet, and I am just floating throughout the entire store. It actually reminds me of being high against your will, except it's not an enjoyable high at all. But there are other ways dissociation has made my life miserable. I got my driver's license when I was 17 and I loved driving. To me, blasting music, rolling down all your windows, driving maybe a little too fast on a summer night is just, that's a religious experience, and I would kill to experience that again. But when I want to say 22, 23, my dissociation got to a point where I could no longer drive. And I have not driven since, so that's 7 or 8 years of no driving, and it sucks. And as you might have guessed, not being able to drive or do social things has led to a pretty lonely life. Because truthfully, dissociation makes being intimate with friends, a significant other, really fucking challenging. Do you know how shitty it feels to be with a group of friends and they're all laughing and having fun and you're just sitting there next to them, but in your mind you're having this mini fucking meltdown about your validity as a human being? Like, I just want to talk shit with my friends. I don't want to worry about whether I'm actually floating above my body or if it's all in my head. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, someone watching this video has to know what I'm saying. And as you probably guessed, dissociation makes figuring out who you are and what you want to do really fucking difficult. How can I know what job or creative endeavor will make my life feel meaningful when I'm doubting that my mind and my body are even connected? How do you cope with day-to-day life when you're doubting that you're even real? But I think I found something, really the only thing that helps with my dissociation, and that is my dog. To me, my dog is proof that even if I'm not real, she's real. And if my dissociation is so bad that Coco isn't real to me, she's still the best unreal thing in that unreal world. Does that make sense? Just dogs in general, man. Cats too. I love, love, love cats. But for the purposes of this video, we're using dogs. They're just so pure. They are love personified, and yes, I said personified because they are tiny little furry people and we should treat them as such. And I don't think that it's a coincidence that God spelled backwards is dog. The coolest thing to me is that my dog 100% knows when I'm dissociating, and if we're on a walk and I start dissociating on the walk, she'll turn around and walk me back home. I don't know, I realize this is a very specific example. It's the only one I have. Dogs are not gonna be everyone's grounding technique. And honestly, it's a little inconvenient that I can't bring my grounding technique, my beautiful, lovely little dog, with me everywhere I go, as much as I would love to. And yes, before you say anything, I have thought deeply about making Coco my service dog, but one, I don't think people would really respect a Chihuahua as a service dog. Two, she doesn't really have a specific task that she does. It's really just her existence that helps me. And three, she hates just about everyone, and she will let everyone know just how much she hates them, which, like, honestly is a mood. So yeah, the only grounding technique that has ever worked for me really isn't applicable outside the house, which does not bode well for my social future. I guess I'll just die surrounded by pets, which is not the worst way to go. I really wish I had a more helpful way to end this video. I wish that I could say, oh, this worked for me or that worked for me, but the truth is very little has ever helped with my dissociation. Besides dogs, obviously. I just wanted to make this video because I have made so many videos about my mental health, but never one about dissociation specifically. It's not something I often see people having a discourse about, but I think there's way more of us who suffer from this type of persistent dissociation than we realize. So if you suffer from persistent, chronic, severe, whatever you want to call it, dissociation, please, please, please leave a comment below and let me know how you cope with your dissociation. I think it would be so cool if we could kind of crowdsource in the comments different unconventional grounding techniques. Like, seriously, please give me something other than 5 things I can see and box breathing. everything. Please, I am begging you. Anyway, I upload videos every week, so make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe so you can get notified when I upload a new video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.